Jack Perry, what the hell are you thinking, man? You know, I mean, it's unfathomable to me to be that guy right now with the push that he's getting, turn heel, you know, pillar, whatever in the company. I mean, he's a guy that Tony Khan clearly liked. You know, he booked him all the time, tag team champion. He's on regularly on TV. He's on most pay-per-views. He's getting a really good push as a heel right now, and young guy. So huge future. And look, like Jungle Boy Jack Perry's future is not, I think, is not for like forever tied to this event. Punk is way more tied to it than he is, but you know, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm livid with Perry that he would pull something like this on that night, on that show, knowing everything that it took for them to get to that place as a company and knowing everything that it took to get Punk back into the fold. They've got business on the table with AEW Collision that Punk is a key player on, and the show is doing well by all accounts. And then you have this mid-card guy who comes in and pokes the bear like that. CM Punk cannot react the way that he did. No question. You can't fight people. You can't fight people at work. This isn't 1980s pro wrestling. You know, you can't. People get in trouble for doing that on NBA teams and in NFL locker rooms. Like, you can't react that way. No question about it. So this is not a defense of CM Punk's reaction, but it is a heavy, heavy criticism on the poor judgment and selfishness of Jack Perry to do that in that environment. When you hear him talk about being, the company guy that he wants to be, to turn around and do that on that night it's not just disrespectful and it's not just stupid. It's the only word that comes to mind is just completely unfathomable. And if I was Tony Khan, man, I would, it'd be a long, long time before we saw Jack Perry back in an AEW ring. I mean, a long time, because, yes, Punk can't do that, but the butterfly effect is Perry doesn't make that comment. None of this is happening. And that doesn't excuse Punk, but it's the reality of the situation. And so, what do you make of Jack Perry and all this? And what do you think his future is like, next year with AEW?
Yeah, first of all, I can't wait for the book or the podcast or the shoot interviews that Perry does, because I really want to know, we hear a lot about, maybe the elite guys and the Punk / FTR groupings back there, but like, who's Jack Perry hanging out with 24/7? Like, what is the?
Well, I think we know.
Well, yeah, but like, obviously, he's not hanging out with Punk and FTR. I think we know that. But how many people just like around the periphery of the company are like every week going like, "Oh my God, Punk," or all this stuff happening? Like, again, I always tie it back to everyone's been in a workplace. There's always little fiefdoms of who you like, who you don't like, who you as a group don't like, who's annoying but gets a lot of credit, who's like the star employee but doesn't do anything, and everyone in your group does 10 times more work than them, and why do they get all the credit? Like, all that is happening. That's just a human thing, no matter what you're doing. If you're
well said.
If you're hunter gathering or if you're in a wrestling company, right? It's all the same. You're always kind of hate somebody that's in your group. Humans can